Hello. There's a lot of talk around at the moment about having too much therapy, and of course, headlines around the world is Prince Harry saying he's had 4 years of therapy and he's still so angry. So you can only assume that the therapy hasn't worked or it's brought the worst out in him. The idea of having therapy is to learn something about yourself, to deal with past traumas that you've had, and to move on from them. And there is a way, and there has been a way for many, many people over the years of moving on from things very quickly. So I thought when I came into being a therapist 21 years ago that you didn't have to have years and years of therapy. What is the purpose? And what's the reason for it? If we keep talking about perceived traumas, and that's what the thing is, it's a perceived trauma for a certain person, and probably that's why the Queen says we may vary in our recollections of it, because the way we perceive trauma is very different to other people. So what is the purpose and the point of keep on talking about it? All you're doing is reinforcing it, reliving it. It's like having a car accident and saying, I think I'll talk about that car accident again and everything about it, and I wish I hadn't left home, and I wish this and that hadn't happened. We can't keep going through life like that, keep talking about the past, because it just reinforces it. It is important to talk about things that have happened to us, but then to learn how to deal with it. So what I would say is that therapy hasn't got to be long term. Therapy can be really short term. And certainly when I started learning hypnotherapy and NLP, I was taught at that time that it can be a fairly quick therapy, because what we're doing is we are empowering our clients to deal with issues, to become that much resourceful, and resourceful means to be able to have the wherewithal to deal with issues. So you don't have to have months or years in therapy and pay out enormous amount of money. I was thinking today that probably Prince Harry should ask for his money back, because if that is true, that therapists have been working with him for 4 years and it seems like he's made no changes, and in fact he's blaming all his behaviour from the past of the trauma that he's had. So it's not a good place for him to be, and it's making a lot of people cross and angry about the whole idea of him having all of this therapy and it doing no good. So I've been thinking about it quite a bit because it is of interest to me, and I see clients who've got traumatic things that have happened to them as well. My role is to help them to move on from it and to perceive it in a different way, to look at it from a bit different vantage point and say, maybe that was a bad time in my life, but I have survived it, I have got over it, and I have moved on.